Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video, but today is going to be a little bit different. So this is a highly anticipated video, and it's why Ranger sucks. So this one we're going to be going over, well, everything about the Ranger in Dungeons and Dragons 5e. So we're staying in the 5e edition, so we're not going anywhere else from 5e. And we might look over what Unearthed Arcana has to offer us. So basically the revised Ranger that has been made not so long ago, and we're going to try to tell the difference and see if it's truly better from what we have right now in 5e. So well, why Ranger sucks, that is a controversial topic, and I'd say that holy shit, it has a lot of really bad things, and it's no wonder that it's the most underrated and underplayed class in Dungeons and Dragons with the Druid. But compared to the Druid, the Ranger is absolutely fucking terrible. So we're gonna go why. We're gonna go through why today. So it might be a longer video and different. So I'm making it for friends there, and yeah, let's get into it. So first, we're gonna start here. Clearly from level 1 to level 20, I'd say that's pretty good, okay? There's nothing I can say that's wrong with this. I mean, the level up is pretty jack-filled with abilities and new things. You know, you always got something new every level. I think that's great. So, however, the spells, they don't really go up by a lot, but still something. Well, never mind, they do actually go up by a lot. 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 3. Yeah, they do go up. So, I mean, the level up features, they're pretty steady, so that's not a problem. I think the problem here are the abilities itself that you'll gain by leveling up. So the level up there, so the features and things you gain, that's pretty good, I'd say. Nothing bad I can say here. On the hit points, so 1d10, I agree, 1d10 is a fair amount of health, since Ranger is not really a damage dealer, and we're going to go through why later on. 1d10, light armor or medium armor. To be fair, I'd make subclasses where you could have heavy armor, but you know, that's the game. Simple martial, I agree, you need martial weapons. Choose 3 from animal handling. Okay, so first of all, first bad thing I gotta say here. So these are not bad things. So light armor, medium armor, shields is pretty good. Simple and martial, you have access to all weapons in the game. That's not bad. But the skills part here, I have a problem with this because I'd say animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth. Most of these are pretty bad, except stealth, perception, investigation, and insight. Animal handling and survival and nature in athletics, I mean, they're not bad skills, it's just that they're really situational. That is a huge problem about this class, is how situational it is. So the skills there, they really have a lot to do with just the beginning of how this class is super fucking bad in general, and why it is, because of how fucking situational it is and how bad its general abilities and skills are. So the equipment you start with is a scale or leather armor, so it's either light or medium armor, 2 short swords, 2 simple melee weapons, a dungeoner's pack, an explorer's pack, a longbow, and a quiver of 20 arrows. Well, the equipment is not bad, but I make simple changes here, because I feel like the Ranger was only made to use a bow and not other weapons, which he is supposed to use. You can use like dual swords or, you know, a big sword instead of the classic longbow Ranger. There's nothing really bad I can see here, but like I said, if the Ranger had a heavy armor, that would be great if there was an option for it. First ability, favorite enemy. I think that is a major problem with the Ranger. It's the fact that a lot of his kit is based on favorite enemy there. Favorite enemy is basically you track a beast. So you have a favorite enemy, you choose from like Aberration, Beast, Celestial, Construct, Dragon, Elementals, Fae, Fiend, Giants, Monstrosities, basically everything. Oozes, plants, or the undead, or two races of humanoids, such as gnolls and orcs. So basically you choose two enemies, and basically against these two specific enemies, you will be better against them. So well, it's not necessarily two enemies, but if you choose a specific type of enemy. So here's an example. So let's say I am better against fiends. If I'm better against fiends, I'm gonna have advantage on the wisdom survival checks to track them, as well the intelligence checks to recall information about them. To learn one. Okay, so I can learn one language from your choice that is spoken by your favorite enemy. So, well, there's a lot of bad things about this. So it is not a bad thing, okay? Favorite enemy is not necessarily terrible. The problem I have with it is just how situational it is. I mean, let's say at level 1, you pick, let's say, I'd say, I don't know, undead, like zombies or skeletons, or, you know, very basic kind of undead creatures there. You know, your favorite enemy is, if you pick this against the skeletons or the zombies, it's going to be good in the early game because you can recall information about the zombies, where they came from, so who's the necromancer who created them, you can speak like a language of the dead, so I guess you could communicate with them in some way. You have advantage on certain checks, and even the checks there, they're not really that good. I mean, you can track your enemies, so I guess that's good, but I thought at first a favorite enemy would actually give you like some sort of advantage on attacks or whatever, but no, it's on checks to confirmation and tracking. This ability, don't even tell me why it's fucking bad, like, just think about it. So you choose zombie, and then you fight zombies, and then from, I don't know, level 3 to fucking 12 or even level 20, you don't even fight zombies anymore. You'll fight, I don't know, monstrosities, giants, or even fiends at this point. So really, favorite enemy is good for like a very little while, and then it's just like this situational thing. Oh, if ever we fight against zombies, I'll be good. So yes, like I said, it is a really terrible ability there, and I think that it kind of ruins the ranger. So going on the next ability there, favorite foe. We're not gonna go through these ones only because we're going through the player's handbook version of ranger, meaning that these are basically revised ranger. That's why it says optional there. So this is revised ranger from Honor of Arcana. We're gonna review this later on another tab. Natural Explorer, I do not remember, so I'm gonna read it. So also at first level, you are particularly familiar with one type of natural environment. Yes, okay. I just remembered everything about this one. So you choose a favorite terrain. So now you just chose a favorite enemy, meaning you're better against this type of enemy, and later on level, you are better against other enemies. But this one it's the same thing, but it's a favorite terrain. So in this terrain, while you're traveling for an hour or more in your favorite terrain that you chose, difficult terrain will not slow your group's travel. Your group can't become lost except by magical means. Even when you're engaged in another activity while traveling, you remain alert to danger. If you're traveling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace. When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would. And while tracking other creatures, you learn their exact number, their size, and how long ago they passed through the area. Natural Explorer is pretty much a very good ability to kind of define what a ranger is. You know, a ranger is a fighter, but it's like, you know, a ranger is made to track. He's good at tracking. He's good in many terrains. So that really is a good ability to kind of define the ranger. Well, the problem is Well, there's not many problems with this ability. It's just simply that, like, the favorite terrain, like I said, it's like the favorite enemy. Um, Eventually, you're not going to be in the same terrain for long, especially in the D&D game. Your terrain changes by a lot. You could be in a dungeon all of a sudden, and then you're in the Arctic, and then you're in the forest. You know, it always changes. So when you choose terrain, you have to be very, very wise on what to choose. Like I'd most likely choose forests or grassland because I think you travel a lot on forest or grassland. Because the rest is just you're gonna choose a terrain that's very situational, like swamp. Like you're almost never in swamps in D&D, except if there's a city on a swamp. I don't know, but like it's like I said, it's way too situational. It's way too dependent on the DM and what he's going to do and what's going to happen. However, when traveling on the favorite terrain, you do get some pretty good things. If you're tryharding and you're playing kind of like hardcore and you find twice as much food, that's pretty good because your party needs to be fed. But if you're playing a normal game there, that it doesn't slow your group's travel, you can't become lost, you remain alert, so meaning you have advantage on all these checks. If you're traveling alone, you move stealthily. I mean, all of this is really good. You have trackers. You can track pretty well. You can track creatures pretty well to pass through the area. So all of this is pretty good, I'd say. It's not the bonuses themselves that are bad. It's just the ability itself is only good very situationally. So that's kind of why it's bad. And situational is something we're going to go over later on as well. There's something else I want to mention later on. So we're not going to go through this one because this is Honor of Arcana. Fighting style. So just saying there's a lot of fighting style in here that come from the Honor of Arcana. We're just going to go through the regular ones, which is archery, defense, dueling, two-weapon fighting, and yeah, that's it. So archery, you gain a +2 bonus to attack rolls you make with ranged weapons. So if you're playing a regular ranger, archery is your go-to. However, the problem I have with this is, you got a fighting style like this, but you got really a lot of abilities that are gonna buff this. But you're gonna see why. While you're wearing armor, you get a +1 bonus to AC. I think defense is pretty good in every class, so if you're looking more for a tanky ranger, like I said, and you're tired of the medium armor, you can always take a feat to get the heavy armor later on. You take defense, and you got a lot of AC on you. Dueling. So, dueling it's pretty good as well, but I don't think on the ranger it does that well. I've never seen or tried it, and I've probably never heard about a ranger with dueling on their weapon, although it can be pretty good, I guess. Two-weapon fighting. We all know that two-weapon fighting in D&D absolutely fucking sucks, so that's not even a choice at this point. So you'd rather remove this and just take archery, defense, or dueling, or I don't know, a big sword or something. Oh, fuck. Spells. Spells are just fucking terrible. I mean, that's the spells for the ranger. I bet there's like 2 spells that are good. It is just fucking sad. So let's go there. That's why I opened this page. So you got all these spells. I mean, I guess it's not bad, but they're just fucking bad. They're just terrible. Okay, let's go through all of them. Absorb elements. I mean, it's not a bad spell, but then again, it's very situational. Alarm. I think alarm is actually a pretty good spell. There's nothing I can say bad about this one, because alarm is a very, well, it's kind of situational, but at the same time, it's pretty useful in many situations. So it's actually a spell you can use a lot. Animal friendship. I mean, that's necessary if you don't have animal friendship with ranger. I mean, why the fuck are you playing a ranger in the first place? Beast Bond. Kind of the same thing there. You need this one. Cure Wounds. Well, Cure Wounds is really fucking good. I mean, everyone knows that Cure Wounds is good. Detect Magic. I use that a lot. Detect magic is not bad. Detect poison. So this is where it gets really fucking terrible. So I think detect poison and disease is just like you get to the really fucking useless spells that are extremely situational. And Snoring Strike. Ah, fuck. Well, I do think that it's not a bad spell. From what I remember, it's okay. Fog Cloud. Uh, yeah, I'm reading a little bit. I don't remember what it is. Okay, yes. I mean, not terrible, not great. It's okay, I guess. Good Berry. Good Berry is pretty good. I think Good Berry is a very good spell if you're using rules with food and water and such. Because this is extremely good if you're traveling as a group. So, I cannot say that's bad. Hail of Thorns. Well, I don't know what Hail of Thorns is. Hunter's Mark. We all know what Hunter's Mark is. Hunter's Mark is pretty much the spell that defines the ranger, so it's not a terrible spell because, well, it marks the ranger. I mean, it's for sure a great spell, but you know, it's still a level 1 spell and it's still something that you're not going to use endlessly. And you deal an extra 1d6, so I mean, it's not super great. And then the rest are just fucking situational shit. Like Swift Quiver is pretty good, I guess. Conjure Volley is not bad. Commune with Nature, that's, I guess, I understand, but why play Ranger if you can play Druid? That's a Summon Elemental. I didn't even know he had Summon Elemental. That's surprising. Stone Skin is terrible. Loki Creature, it's not bad, I guess, but still, you're a Ranger, you can track a lot of shit. Guardian of Nature, it's not bad. Grasping Vine, Freedom of Movement. So, a lot of these are associated with movement or anything. But this is the first one. These are the two first ones that I see that are actually related with arrows and shit. Flame arrows and lightning arrow. There should be an ability for every single type of arrows. Like these shouldn't even be spells in the first place. Like, if you really want to fix it, you could have like, I don't know, lightning arrow. Then you have a, I don't know, radiant arrow. I don't know, it sounds dumb, but I'm just saying ideas there. Then you have a lightning. And then you can choose from an arsenal of arrows that are magical. And then you can just use them to do different types of damage. That would be pretty fucking good, I guess, because you can use the ranger's magic to do something that's a lot more useful than having Stone Skin or Plant Growth or Daylight. You know, these useless fucking spells that no one uses. Or Dark Vision and like fucking Find Traps. So, the ranger spells, in my opinion, are probably the worst spellcasters list in the entire fucking game. And that's not even close. It's a mix mash of shit and fucking diarrhea all crumbled together to make a spell list that's is just very fucking bad and all. So, like, Ranger is a hybrid class, meaning, you know, it's a good fighter, but at the same time it has some spells up to level 5. Level 5 it's pretty good. So, then you think, well, you know, I'd have to rely a lot on my spells, but not really. I mean, these spells are so fucking terrible and, you know, situational, like I said, the word I'm gonna say a lot, that you won't use your spells terribly a lot. You know, you're gonna use them sometimes, but most of the time, your abilities will do the job, and it's gonna do the same fucking thing. So, like I said, I mean, let's compare the Ranger to Paladin, let's say. Paladin is an hybrid class with a spell list up to level 5, just like the Ranger. They're both fighters, and they can both heal in some way with cure wounds and whatever. But the Ranger is just, like, I don't know. If I was personally reworking the Ranger here, maybe I'd put wizard spells into the Ranger's list up to level 4 or 5. Kind of like the Eldritch Knight. Because I just think that the Ranger with wizard spells would be so much cooler. I mean, just imagine being a Ranger / illusionist. I mean, it's kind of an Eldritch Knight there. Well, I mean, it is an Eldritch Knight at this point, but I don't know. I feel like it's a very underwhelming spell list. Alright, let's get to the abilities. Level 3. Primeval Awareness. You can use your action. I mean, that again, that's pretty good. Fits the Ranger. It's just that you're not gonna... It's kind of weird. You have to... I don't understand why you'd have to expand a Ranger spell slot to focus your awareness on the region around you. Wouldn't that be a perception check at this point? Because, you know, if you want to sense any creatures coming towards you, you know, it's like, would you use a perception check at this point? So you're using your full action, expending a spell slot, to sense whether there's type of creatures are present within 1 mile of you. I'd say that instead of using this, I would just use a perception check at this point, so that's pretty bad actually. I mean, if it's your favorite terrain, 6 miles, I guess that's really fucking good. But beside of that, I wouldn't use it as a normal case. I will only use it if I had my favorite terrain and could look up to 6 miles and know where creatures are at this point. So this is a pretty bad ability. We're starting on the bad shit. This is Honor for Kana, Ranger Conclave. Yes, so these are gonna be the Ranger subclasses we're gonna talk about. So in the player's handbook, there's the Hunter and the Beastmaster, and that's these are the two ones we're gonna be talking about mostly, because the other ones are just, they're kind of the same situation. We're gonna explain what happens there, but first we're gonna finish the abilities. Ability score improvement. Martial versatility. That's not extra attack. You can attack twice instead of once. Okay. So here's the little thing I want to mention here with extra attack. Okay. I think with the Ranger they should do like the Fighter, where you can have more extra attacks than anybody in the game. Why so? I think the Ranger would fit in this case. I think the Ranger is this class where, you know, you can use a bow and arrow, and then you can switch to a longsword, you know. You kind of like, you have a couple of weapons, and you can manipulate your arsenals in a different way. The problem I have here is, why play a Ranger when you can play a fighter with a bow? You know, you can play a fighter with a bow that can shoot fucking 5 arrows in a turn, or 4, you can attack 4 times, like tick, 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 tick. While you can play this, who just shoots 2 arrows, or shoots 1 arrow and then casts a very underwhelming spell, and that's his turn. I mean, in this case, I just play a fighter with a bow, because I think that will do the job of a Ranger by far, like not even fucking close. So yeah, they should change this definitely. Lance Stride, so moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs you no extra movement. Okay, I gotta say something, okay? These are not bad abilities. They're not bad abilities. It's just that there's so many fucking abilities focused on movement and terrain. So let's say, if you move through non-magical difficult terrain, it will not cost you any extra movement. So I want to mention something. Not a lot of DMs are good at notice, first of all. So if you're playing a regular game of D&D, your DMs are not gonna recognize the extra movement from difficult terrain. If so, you're playing with a good DM that knows their shit more than you. Also, non-magical plants without being slowed. I guess it's good. I guess it's a pretty good ability, but like I said, it's so fucking situational. You know, like, when are you gonna pass through non-magical plants that are gonna slow you? Like thorns or spines or fucking hazards and shit, similar hazards. Like these abilities are good, like I said, but they just don't fucking work, because you already have Natural Explorer made for favorite terrain, and you know, all this stuff, favorite terrain and such, and we just talk about Primeval Awareness, which is made to detect the enemies from further away. So in this case, Lance Stride is just fucking terrible. So like, well, it's not terrible, it's just fucking way too much situational there. Hide in plain sight. So starting at 10th level, you can spend. Okay, that is pretty good. So that's when the ranger kind of becomes a rogue, because we all know that, you know, the classic joke that the ranger is a fighter, ranger. Well, it's a fighter, rogue, and druid mix, and that is pretty true actually. Um, so here you get you can camouflage yourself. You must have access to fresh mud, dirt, plants, and you can create your camouflage. And in this way, you have a plus 10 bonus to dexterity stealth as long as you remain there without moving or taking action next to a tree or a wall. This is pretty good. That's a pretty cool ability. It fits the ranger camouflage. It makes you feel like you're fucking Rambo. That is a pretty good ability. Not gonna lie, that is not bad. But maybe lower down the level scale there. I wouldn't have that level 10. I'd say level 7 or 8, not 10. But I think that is a fairly good ability that should be that should be lower level, like I said, but I think it should be kept this way. I think it's nice. It's a nice little ability, and that's cool. Nothing bad to say here. Although I would like some sort of abilities to, you know, upgrade my weapons and my damage and, you know, speed and anything, instead of always talking about fucking camouflage and terrain. So, yeah. We're almost done. Vanish. You can use the hide action. You can now be tracked unless you choose to leave a trail. Like I said, not bad. But I feel like we're playing a rogue here. Like, suddenly you turn almost fucking invisible, like you cannot be tracked or some shit. And there, you gain fucking stealth bonuses. You know, it's all good stuff. It's just I feel like you're playing a mixed max of shit together. Pile into a big fucking pile of diarrhea. And you got this class. So, like I said, it's not bad, but where's the abilities to upgrade your weapons? Where's the abilities to, I don't know, shoot fucking 2 arrows at the same time? Where are these kind of abilities? You know, it's all about tracking a terrain. I feel like I'm playing a fucking support. You know, that's not the feeling I want from playing a ranger, that right as I go through it, I am already confused, and also that I'm thinking that I'm playing a fucking support by this point. Or utility. For all senses. 18th level. Like I said, this is at level 18, by the way. So you're not even sure you're gonna reach level 18 in the campaign, just saying. Because most campaigns, Reddit proven through a poll, most campaigns ends way before level 18, and we all know that. And if you do reach level 18, you get this ability, which, I mean, it's not bad that you can fight creatures that you can't see. But, like I said, it's too fucking situational. Why do you have feral senses? Like, instead of feral senses, I would do something completely different. I would do something like, you have an arsenal of very powerful arrows, and you can choose like a fucking sonic boom arrow, kind of like the arcane archer from Fighter. Like, the arcane archer is the definition. It's everything the ranger should be in a fighter subclass. Well, then you have this fucking garbage. Full Slayer. At 20th level, you become an unparalleled hunter of your enemies. Yeah, okay. So this is when at level 20, you start to gain advantage on your attack rolls against one of your favorite enemies. And you can add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll. Wow. Well, that is probably one of the worst level 20 abilities in the whole fucking game. I thought the Bard level 20 ability was underwhelming, and then Full Slayer exists. First of all, this should have been in the beginning, so you should have been able to add your wisdom modifier to your attack roll right away, not at level fucking 20. And against your favorite enemies, so it's not even a normal enemy, it's against only your favorite enemies, so you're probably not going to use this feature a lot. So yeah. Well, I mean, that is just really, really bad. So like all of this is just fucking garbage. It is terrible. So now we're gonna discuss a little bit about you know, the revised Ranger. Let's check out the revised Ranger. Revised Ranger. Oh no, we're not gonna go through a fucking PowerPoint. So yes, revised Ranger. So before we go into revised Ranger, I'm gonna do something. So we're gonna talk about the class's issues in general. So first of all, way too situational. Everything is fucking situational. Like if you go back to the normal one, you know, all of this is just it's all based on fucking terrain. It's all based on favorite enemy. Favorite enemy sucks, let's be honest. Feral senses. You know, I guess it got a good early game because, you know, you got all of this shit, you know, they're packing some fucking meat on your abilities and stuff, so you know, you gain some spells as well. Some spell slots, and you know, it's good stuff. I mean, it's not bad. But then once you reach level 9 or 10, it's like this is where it goes like from very fucking good to, you know, sorry. Like, it goes like, nah, nah, and then it goes fucking down, and then you're like, ah, back to garbage. So yeah, I'm gonna say how to fix this after, because this class definitely needs a lot of fixing. So I'm gonna go with the good stuff first, and then we're gonna go on the bad stuff and the good stuff. Well, first of all, well, the good stuff, I think it has a good early game, like I said. So, not bad early game, get a lot of good stuff. And that's about it. That's about it. The Ranger is like, well, the only second thing I have is really underwhelming, is that it's one of the few range classes in the game that is made to be a range class. That is like physical with bows and arrows and shit. That's it. That is really fucking underwhelming of a compliment I have to give to this class. Now let's get to the really bad stuff. To situational. Bad scaling. Bad lagging. I just said the scaling was not bad, but when you look at it on a technical level, if you look at it on the scaling on how like a class becomes better through scaling, I mean, just okay. Let's look at the Paladin. Okay, let's have a look at the Paladin. Paladin 5e wiki dot. Let's just have a look at the Paladin right there. Look at all this, okay? You gain an ability at level 20 from the Sacred Oath feature that is extremely fucking powerful. These are just the normal abilities. You get Divine Smite, Lay on Hands, Divine Sense, Extra Aura Protection, and then you gain, and we're not even done. You know, you got your fucking oaths right there, your subclasses that are just absolutely fucking insane. So, you're telling me that that has a lot more abilities than the Paladin, let's be honest. Some way more abilities. Is not as good and as worse scaling than the Paladin. Why so? Well, very simple. The Paladin actually gains good abilities. He actually gains good stuff from his oaths. His subclasses make him gain stuff all the time. So, really, compared to this, it's like how can I describe it? The best way I can say it is you gain a lot of stuff that you're not gonna use, and then you just jump back it and then you gain it. You're like, oh, I got a lot of abilities. It's just these abilities I'm really not gonna use often anyways, so I mean that's not a problem. While the Paladin is, well, I got less abilities, but I know I'm gonna use them a lot more often than I do here. So yeah. The scaling is fucking terrible. And the late game is just, you've seen what we get. Our final fucking abilities for the late game. I mean, Full Slayer, Feral Senses, Favorite Enemy, Improvement, Vanish. I mean, all of this is just, you know, it should not even exist. You should, I mean, Wizard of the Coast should just remove these and switch them. I think they should do a complete rework of this fucking class, and I should be a part of it and say like everything that's wrong with this class in general. Bad spell list. I've talked about it. This spell list is it's an absolute choke to all the hybrid spell lists out there. I mean, every hybrid class is legitimately have a better spell list than this. So, I mean, I got nothing to say more than that. It's just a really terrible spell list. Yeah, the Ranger's role, that's something I really want to talk about, is really hard to define. What does the Ranger do in the fucking group? Like, when I started the Dungeons and Dragons there, and I looked in the 5th edition handbook, because I started with 5th edition, meaning I didn't start a long time ago, everyone had a role. So, a bard would be healing his team, he would be a good, dialogue holder, he could do all this cool stuff, he was a charismatic guy, so you could use him in a lot of different situations there. While, a barbarian, you'd be like, oh, he's the tank of the team, clearly, he's the meat shield. What about the Ranger? What about the fucking Ranger? I mean, the Ranger, I feel like what is he supposed to do? He got spells, he's kind of like a stealth guy, he got druid spells, and then he's sneaky, but like as the fighting ability of a fighter, kind of, but not as much damage output as a fighter. It's like the Ranger, to be fair, is a fighter, a rogue, and a druid combined into a class that just doesn't make sense. Let's be honest, Ranger comes from the fact that Aragorn from Lord of the Rings existed, and kind of referring yourself to Aragorn from the Lord of the Rings, which is like the perfect version of what a Ranger should be. It's a good thing. I mean, they did have a good, idea, and how can I say it? A good inspiration. I mean, it's perfect time Ranger. It's just that, what is his role? What am I supposed to do? Do I serve more on utility? Do I serve more on damage? Because I'm sort of a tank. Kind of. I got 1d10 hit points. It's still not bad. But what do I do? So yeah, really, the Ranger's role is just way too hard to define, and all the mix max of weird abilities and weird fucking shit, it just makes it a lot more confusing. Now we get to the final part of this video. I think this is the part I'm gonna be shit talking the most on. It's the classes in the player's handbook, and even the others. Okay, first let's have a look at all of them. Beastmaster, player's handbook, Fey Wanderer, Tasha's Cauldron, Gloomstalker, Xanathar, Horizon Walker, Hunter, Monster Slayer, Stormkeeper. Oof. Disappointing. This is, when I look at this, the word that comes to mind is disappointing. Very disappointing. Beastmaster. Let's have a look at him. We're not going to read everything, because we know what Beastmaster does. The Beastmaster, you have a primal companion, you have a friendship between the civilized race and the beasts of the world. United in focus, Beast of Rage will work as one to fight the monstrous foes that threaten civilization and the wilderness alike. Emulating the Beastmaster archetype means committing yourself to this ideal, working in partnership with an animal as its companion and friend. Okay, Beastmaster. Very good, how could I say it? Very good idea. It is not a bad class idea, actually. I think it is the concept of the class is really, really good. I think when I wanted to play a Ranger at some point, believe it or not. And Beastmaster was what I wanted to play. They did revise the Beastmaster, but it's still not really good. But anyways, I'm going to continue. Beastmaster is it is quite known as the worst subclass in the entire game, and that is not a understatement. That is fucking true. At first I was surprised to hear that, but it is actually pretty true when you look at everything. First of all, your abilities are just not working good. So share spells, you can cast a spell targeting yourself. So basically you can share a spell between the beast and yourself. Not bad, but should be gain earlier levels. So everything is about your beast, so nothing wrong here. But here's the problem with this class. It's really simple. We don't have to read anything to understand. You know, here's a very good scenario that I've created in my mind to kind of explain the Beastmaster in a nutshell on why he's, you know, really terrible. Okay, I'm a ranger. I start the game, and I decide to pick Beastmaster. Everyone's like, well, cool. You know, we're gonna have some sort of tank with us, and plus we're gonna have technically another party member as a beast that's gonna do, you know, utility things such as gathering information or scouting with an owl. I don't know, just things that are simple like that. However, it's all good until, well, oh, we get to the fighting part. I think we need a bear because a bear can tank us. Oh, let's go. So you're level 5 or 3, let's say. You get a bear. You're like, oh, that's pretty cool. We got a bear. It does quite a lot of damage. He can tank. And we're just destroying every single encounter we're having. Okay, sure, that's pretty good. I agree. Then you're level 10. Then you're level 10. And then you start fighting hill giants and such, or whatever. Alright. You know, your bear is not going to be as good, but it's going to survive. And when I say survive, I mean most likely not, because we all know that hill giants will absolutely fucking demolish the bear. Because, let's be honest, the bear is probably pretty much the best animal you can get there. Anyways. And then you're level 15. And you get all these abilities for, you know, your fucking beasts and such, your companions. But you still have a bear. You know, it doesn't have a, you know, it's not that good anymore. It's not as good as you were when it's level 5 or level 4. You know, it's not gonna one-shot encounters. It's like you're gonna poke enemies with a needle at this point, you know? So, the Beastmaster shouldn't even be in the player's handbook. It should be in Honor of Arcana. It should be forgotten and completely removed. Because this encourages this new player to play the Beastmaster. I mean, I got nothing wrong with that. I wanted to play the Beastmaster myself. But it's such a terrible class that, I mean, you're encouraging players to play the worst fucking class in the game, and you're not fixing it. So, I really hope that in Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition, when they're going to release it, they're going to fix this. Because the Beastmaster is not good in the early game. I mean, it's good in the early game, I guess. In the very early game, so level, I don't know, 3 to 5, 3 to 8. Beside that, it goes down, 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 and it just degrades to a point where it's so fucking terrible. So, really, there's no reason why you should play the Beastmaster. Worst fucking subclass ever. Now we're gonna go to the Hunter. Oof, disappointing. Really fucking disappointing. So, Hunter Spray, you can choose one of the following colors of Slayer so you can be better. Creature will take. Okay. Too fucking situational. That's like that exactly makes me think of what we just read earlier with the foe thing, where you choose a foe and then you do extra damage. This is what it should have been. Extra damage, giant killer, horde breaker. What is in fucking Hunter? It's terrible. Defensive tactics. It's not bad, but it's, man, all of this is a fucking joke. You know, all of this is a big fucking joke. Like, how can I say it? Okay. Okay, this, terrible. It's like, how do you call it? Let's go. How do you call it? It's like favorite enemy, but fucking worse. This is like a favorite enemies, but worse. Extra damage against certain types of enemies. Too situational. Defensive tactic. Opportunity or maybe disadvantage. That's I get that's pretty good. Defensive tactics, not bad, I'd say. That is the only one I'd say that's not bad. Not bad. multi-attack. Volley. Okay, when I read multi-attack, I thought, oh, finally something like kind of like a Legolas-like thing where you can shoot fucking 1 million arrows in a turn. But no. It's disappointing. Really, it's a disappointing ability if you read it. I'm not even the same thing. Superior Hunter's Defense. Okay. First of all, there should not be a superior for this one. Because I think that Hunter's Defense was already good at this point. But I guess superior one is gonna make it better. Honestly, I would have added something like a, well, not a terrain ability for sure, but if you're a hunter, maybe your sense of vision is way better. You can see from further away. You have advantage in darkness. You can see through darkness, or like fog clouds don't affect you, or I don't know, if you maybe that in every single terrain you have advantage, like that in every single like natural terrain and not caves and such, you have advantage on attacks and saving throws. I don't know. Just something that fits with the hunter, but this is a big fucking joke. I'm just gonna leave this. So all in all, this is why the ranger sucks. Every single abilities of this class is just, it's a big fucking mess. It's a big fucking joke. Like, let's go there. Let's look at the other ones without actually like clicking on them. Fey Wanderer. Fey Wanderer. I don't even want to click this. I'd rather shoot myself before clicking this, because I'm actually scared to see how fucking terrible it is. Gloomstalker. I've heard it's not bad, but it's too situational. Horizon Walker. It's a very cool concept. You can travel through different planes and portals. Then again, it's way too fucking situational. Like, when are you gonna travel through planes and portals? I don't know, at level 15? So what do you do between level 1 to 15? Yeah, absolutely fucking nothing. Monster Slayer. This is the embodiment of every single problem the ranger has. It's like everything is a favorite enemy, so no, that's terrible. Stormkeeper. I don't want to reread it. I'd rather kill myself before reading this shit. Yeah, all in all. So this is why Ranger sucks. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. I said I was gonna look at the revised Ranger, but I am deeply disappointed. I am way too fucking disappointed to look at this. Here, let me give you a pro tip. Play fighter with a bow, or play arcane archer. If you want to get good, just play this, okay? If you want to get good, play fighter with a bow or arcane archer instead of playing this fucking garbage. So, well, here, let me give you a pro tip of the gods. Never play ranger. The only reason you'd play ranger is to multiclass. Yeah, that's the point I forgot to mention. The ranger is only good in the very early game, and it's only good while you're multiclassing. Like, I've seen tons of multiclassing videos from like tryhards and such that ranger is used a lot in that. Just because, I guess, of its low abilities it gained early on. I mean, anyways, that was my video. It was a very long video of me rambling and just fucking shitting on the ranger. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want another one of these videos, I can sure do another one of them. I would not mind. These are fun to do. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Leave down a comment for other video suggestions that you want me to do. And don't forget to give this video a like. Peace out.